And we're going to go through and we're going to yay or nay to some of these offensive free agents and some of them are wide receivers, just to give you a little hint there. So let's pull this up. And I already kind of see one name on here, and I think people are going to be kind of shocked by it. I
see a couple that are a little like,
yeah, okay, let's just pull this up.
Might be a lot of nays.
Yeah, I mean, it is a good article. Okay. So to start us off, to kind of get through some of the suggestions here, as you can see and read, right, Detroit Lions are building a complete roster in anticipation of a playoff run in 2024. Goes on to kind of talk about the next step in adding more talent and depth across the board. So the first suggestion is Michael Thomas.
Starts off hot.
Oh, yeah.
Starts off hot.
Yeah, well, I'll just get that. Hell no. And I get the explanation with Campbell and defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn having ties to the Saints. There's a connection to arguably a top free agent. Not arguably, he is not a top free agent. Still available. Detroit still has questions at the wide receiver position, and Thomas is the most proven player still available. Yeah, but again, I think injuries, off the field issues, everything in between. How old is he? 2? I mean,
I can look it up for you real quick.
He is 31. Yeah, and he's not getting any younger. I mean, and 31's not old, but man, injuries, off the field issues, on the field issues. Hell no.
No. I'm going to say nay as well. It's just like there's too much baggage with a guy like that. And it seems unrealistic because Dan and Brad, they're so hard on like when you bring a guy in, he has to fit the culture. You have to know. Do you remember last year, like they said all the time, bringing guys in and at the trade deadline, instead of just trading for a guy, just to trade for a guy that essentially they said essentially like we want to make sure we have someone that we know, like that we feel comfortable with knowing who that person is as a player and off the field. And Michael Thomas, it's just there's like baggage with it when it comes to it, like whether it's injury or off field stuff or whatever, anything that comes with it. Like he had last year, he played in 10 games, 400 yards. 3 games the year before, 170 yards. 7 games before, 400. He hasn't done anything since 2019, essentially. So it's like, okay, now you're expecting a guy, yes, with talent to just come in, but just for that baggage just to be gone. And I just don't see it happening. And I guess you can make the argument if someone wants to. Well, they've set the culture here, so a guy like that can come in and maybe they're able to help. No, you don't even want to like risk it. You don't want to risk it at all. I'd rather go, and you guys know how I feel about the wide receiver room. I would rather go on with the wide receiver room that we have now than bring Michael Thomas in to elevate that room. Like, I would rather do that. There's other guys out there in free agency that I would rather even just bring in that I'm just like, please just give me someone else. Like,
no.
I'm out on that. Completely out.
Yeah, I'd
rather have Antonio Brown.
Yeah, I would rather have Antonio Brown, to be honest. At least it'd be comical. It's for the experience, to be honest.
Yeah, at least you get CT ESPN. Like you get that with it. You get some exposure.
Yeah. I mean, you're bringing in a me guy to a we locker room, and I just think the culture fit is just absolutely awful. It makes no sense. And I think the argument for bringing in somebody with character concerns or question marks, I think only works a majority of the time with rookies. That was my argument when I was trying to pitch Jalen Carter at the time, but like a 31-year-old NFL veteran, like, oh, he'll change. It's like, man,
for he's done this for 3 straight years. He's played in less than 10 games every year.
You know, people that have been in relationships, they'll change. If you have a big enough sample size, that person is most likely not changing. Okay. And Michael Thomas has a sample size, a pretty good one in the NFL. He is not changing. He is who he is. So no, absolutely not.
I'm completely out on Michael Thomas. I would rather just roll with what we have. Give me DPJ, baby.
Yeah, there you go. Hell yeah.
Give me JMO. Give me Khalif. Hold on. You guys want to really do something? Let's look at Khalif Raymond and Michael Thomas the last 3 years. Who's been better and more reliable? There we go. That's it. Khalif Raymond greater than Michael Thomas.
No, I would rather take. Who's the Saints wide receiver? I don't know. Klotz probably knows. Traquan. What's his name?
Traquan Smith? I don't know.
I'll take him. You know what? I'll take him over Michael Thomas. I'm sorry. I'll take him over Michael Thomas. I got no interest. All right, let's keep it pushing. The next one is
You
Logan
saying no.
Thomas. Okay. Logan Thomas. Okay. And
Interesting one.
I
already know my answer on this.
Okay, go on.
I'm just gonna say no. I'm gonna say nay, and it has nothing to do with the like what he does. It's just, to me, like that tight end room, I feel like it's already you're fine. Like with Sam Laporta, one of the best in the league, and then you have Brock Wright, who's been there. You just essentially signed Brock Wright to what was the deal that he got? I can't remember the exact deal.
He got like a 2 or 3 year deal.
Yeah, and you spent some money on it because the 49ers matched it. So, like, in my opinion, like, I just don't see a tight end being a priority to spend money on. Like, use some of your cap money on a guy like Logan Thomas. Like, he can get you some. He can make some play. Like, he's not going to go out there and be a game changer outside of Brock Wright, though, in my opinion. Like, you just paid your backup tight end. Why would you go out there and get a Logan Thomas? I'm nay on Logan Thomas. You have a tight end room you can roll with here. Even if you want to keep going a little deeper, I know James Mitchell and Shane Zilster coming off an injury, like, not great, but dude, you have such a good, I don't know. You don't really need that. You have such a good, like, Ben Johnson's a tight end offensive coordinator. Like, that's where he was a tight ends coach before, so he knows how to use guys. Remember when TJ Hawkinson left and Brock Wright in that room went out there and had like the most receiving touchdowns from a tight end in Lions history? You don't need to add in Logan Thomas when you have Sam Laporta.
Yeah, Lions legend Logan Thomas. No, I don't. I'm not interested. I don't think. I think. You said it best. I'm comfortable with who they have in the room. They have enough. I mean, even if you go down and you got Zylstra, James Mitchell, like, they're fine. I mean, even though James Mitchell, he isn't really taking that step, and Brock Wright's been the better tight end, but like for that third tight end spot, I like Brock as the really the second. He does a lot of the dirty work that I don't think Logan Thomas would sign up for. So,
yeah, well, one of the coaches talked about Brock the other day, and I believe, and it was really interesting to hear like how like valuable they feel like Brock Wright is, like reliable when it comes to like if you need a catch outside of Sam Laporta or just blocking, like Brock Wright is like that guy, and then they showed it by paying him. So
yes,
we don't even need to think about the tight end room for another 2 or 3 years, in my opinion.
All right, let's move on to this. So nay for both of these. Okay, we're moving on to the next one. Wide receiver Corey Davis. Jeez,
I mean, what?
Corey,
you go first on this one.
Yeah, it'll be quick for me. No, absolutely not. I actually, you know what? Fun fact. Watch Corey Davis. A lot of Corey Davis. I liked Corey Davis was one of my favorite receivers to watch, and honestly, especially in college, like that, he was
great,
an absolute dude. Especially here locally, was an absolute dog. All right, and I got respect for Corey Davis, what he accomplished in his career, but no, nay, big nay. I don't think Corey Davis. I honestly, and I'm being 100% serious. Corey Davis, if he, and I'm curious for Klotz, you can get his thoughts on it. If Corey Davis walked in on at training camp, he would retire by the time it ends.
Think so?
Oh, yeah.
I'm interested to see how much in shape he is.
No,
he sat out a whole year. He retired in 2022, and now he's just back.
He wouldn't. No, he'd be out. He'd be re-retired by the time this season starts. So yeah. I'm good.
No way, no how. No way, no how. It'd be like asking, I don't know, like it'd be like Marvin Jones. Like, I know Marvin was older, but Marvin was able to play more with more longevity in his career. But if you're asking a guy to come off the couch when he chose to be on the couch, and I'm not knocking him, it's just his body probably couldn't take much more. Why do you expect him a year older now to be able to do it? I just don't see the logic in this.
It's absolutely, this is it's an atrocity. If he was actually
we're out on him.
All right. And Mason Cole, center. You know what? Who is Mason Cole? Who is this?
I know the name, but I don't know. Like, I just know that I know the name. That's all I know.
Former Michigan Wolverine.
Okay, now I understand. Okay, Mason Cole was the center who was cut from the Steelers. Okay.
Wow.
Remember we brought that up for the draft when we were talking about like all the Steelers cut their center? He was the guy that got cut. Okay,
I'm fine with that,
he
though.
was. Yeah, and he played
To
at Michigan.
To be fair,
So-
like in the last 2 seasons, 2023 last year, he started in all 17 games. The year before, started in all 17 games. In 2020, he started in 14 out of the 14 games played. In his rookie year, 16 starts out of 16 games. So he has a lot of experience. I don't think like that's an issue. It sounds like they just drafted some offensive linemen and moved on. That's what it feels like with the Mason Cole.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I'm kind of cool
Frank-
with this. I'm kind of cool with this. If you want to bring in a backup center, I have no problem with that. I don't.
Think about this. Frank goes – say Frank misses a game or two because of his toe. Typically, you move Frank Ragnow over. Instead of having to move Frank and then fill someone else in at guard, now you can keep Graham. You can keep Graham at guard and just throw in Mason Cole at center instead of having to do this whole mix and match, throw in a guard that, a young guard. You just have some depth there at the center position. I don't think that's actually that crazy. I don't.
Well, here's the hard part of that, okay? Graham has had an entire season under his belt in this offense. So if he's playing center, him being at center and him and Jared's relationship would be like, easy.
For sure.
Mason Cole stepping in, and then he would have to start at center potentially if Frank goes down. Like, I don't know if I trust him just becoming a Detroit Lion and having to.
I mean, he's not immediately starting though.
No. I'm saying if there was an injury.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's like, say you bring him in now for training camp. Like last year, Graham came in before the season. He came in as a free agent. He played center, I think, for a game or two in the season. Like within 7 months, he was already playing center with Jared Goff. He'd never played with Jared Goff before. Mason Cole, it's essentially the same thing as Graham last year. He would come in training camp. He's going to work with, I'm sure, Goff at some point. And then by the time, maybe week 9, if Frank needs a week off, hey, Mason, buddy, we need you.
I mean,
Coach,
to Booner's point, would you rather have Mason Cole playing center, who started multiple times in the NFL, or Trot Yodi or Colby Sorsdahl out there at guard? Because you can leave Graham there.
That's all I keep thinking.
And I don't know, like if the Lions were to draft a Jackson Powers Johnson this year, like he's essentially would have to be facing the same role that Mason Cole does. Obviously, they're different players, but I think anybody, rookie or not, if you're backup center, you're probably going to be learning the system because you weren't here last year.
Yeah. No,
1 year deal, vet men, good. Let's, you have a piece. He probably would take anything. I probably could give him a couple $100 and he would show up because he's looking for a job right now.
Okay, you know what? That is fair. I would be open to it. That was like my one thing. I'm like, well, playing center versus playing guard, but yeah, you're right. I guess. I mean, anybody they bring in would have to learn this entire offense. That's always stuck with me. The more like John brings it up, I'm like, that is true. Like whoever signs is going to have to grasp this offense like kind of immediately in case there is an injury. In case. But we'll keep it pushing here. I think that okay. Well, Vitai's on here. Jesus. Okay.
Fuck. What are we doing here?
Interesting.
Ryan Tannehill.
Oh, okay. You should be the worst about this, Jeff, because that if they bring Ryan Tannehill in, that means they don't think Hendon Hooker is good enough.
Yeah, it wouldn't necessarily fit my narrative. This is not great. I'm gonna be honest. Quintez Cephus.
Honestly, I would not be mad at Quintez Cephus. Like I'm not pounding the table, but if it happened, I'd be like, okay. They brought CJ Moore back, bro. He was in the same situation as Quintez. CJ Moore is a much better overall football player, I think. But if you're talking about a guy that's been with this team, has connection with Jared Goff, if they were to bring him in for a minimum deal, don't tell me you'd be upset, Jeff.
I think I would be out on
Quintez Cephus than Traquan Smith.
I would rather have Traquan Smith.
I think I would be out on Quintez Cephus. That man could never stay healthy. That man was just always something going on with him.
This is the problem. All right, this is the problem. We see. We have. I got you, Klotz. See, I understand. You got that image in your head of Quintez reaching up.
No, not the training camp catch.
Catching the ball.
I might agree with Jeff on this.
What I'm thinking of is it was either the Sunday or the Monday night game in Lambeau, and he was Jared Goff's go-to guy. Now, he's not going to be that again, but as your wide receiver 6, Are you kidding me? A guy that already has a relationship with Jared Goff and everybody's complaining, what's going to happen when you lose Josh Reynolds to the chemistry? He's like, all right, now there's another guy you get chemistry to. If you need him to play wide receiver 5 for a game because Donovan Peoples-Jones or Leaf gets hurt, I'm fine with Quintez Cephus being out there. Like, he's going to be signed. If he signs, it'd probably be for like $2 million 1 year. You're going to be
$2
million
for 3 games because he's hurt the other 14 games.
What Zay Jones would have cost more, Boone.
Yeah, but he stays healthy. And he
Trey Quinn would probably cost more.
He'll stay on the field, I'm sure.
Okay.
I just every time Cephus just, and by the way, people are saying he's a Bill. He just got cut by the Bills, I believe, like a couple weeks ago.
Wow.
So I mean, Klotzy, as bad of a wide receiver room as you come at me for with the Bills, Quintez Cephus didn't even make it that long on the Bills.
What did we just talk about? Oh, systems and knowing schemes and formations and chemistry and being able to pick up a playbook. Like it's almost like we just talked about that being important and how that could possibly factor in him just being the 6th wide receiver on this team.
Antoine Green will make the team over Quintez Cephus at this
probably. But if you're talking about bringing him in for competition, I'm not mad at it whatsoever.